We live. We are live.
Hey, today March 1st, 2021, a day we'll never see again. Hope you've enjoying this day. You feel me? Hope you've grabbed this day by the horns and just rode it, you know.
And wrote it. Yeah. We in that Black History Month hangover, you know.
As usual.
So we working through our Black History Month feelings and emotions and carrying it on. Like McDonald's say, we Black History 365.
Hey, but I will say though that this year I feel like uniquely a lot of non-black people showed they ass this Black History Month just by being able to try to like hijack the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like in different ways. In different
Ethereal
ways.
Beauty, first one in here. Shout out to Ethereal Beauty.
Shout out to Ethereal Beauty.
Gang. And she was late last week, if I don't recall. You was late to the Black History Month Awards. So appreciate you showing up.
Don't be calling out our guests.
Hey, y'all know how it go though. As y'all come in, make sure y'all say what's up. Make sure y'all let us know where y'all coming in from. And how we getting it in, man. It's the chop up.
Yeah, but George, as people say what's up, I agree. Niggas was out of pocket. This Black History Month.
I do think that uniquely, I feel like a lot of non-black people was out of pocket on many different social media outlets and in real life. You feel me? From white teachers in Edmond, Oklahoma, calling out black students, talking about why we don't have the fact that this 7th grade teacher did this on Black History Month. I feel like you showed your ass. And shout out to all the white folks that showed their ass on TikTok, debating people on whether they should say the N-word or not. At this point, my black ass, I'm not willing to debate you on that. I don't want to have a conversation with you. Listen, say what you want to say. Just know consequences may vary. You feel me? And you know who to say in front of.
Yeah, we got T Duck in the building. We got Shauna K. Atherton in the building from Maryland. My boy T Duck out of the Bay was good with y'all. Thank y'all for joining.
From Maryland. I'm always say it if anybody from Maryland come in here. From Maryland.
From Maryland. Yeah.
Maryland.
Without a doubt. But like what I say about social media is like it's a place where they be white splaining, and we're gonna have to do a chop on white splaining and what that is and you know how to deal with it. But you know, like social media just give people the opportunity to white splain and we really don't have to engage it though. You know what I'm saying? I know black people feel triggered to try to respond, but it's like talking, like literally talking to a brick wall of whiteness. You feel me? So
yeah, man. Shout out to Tracer, man. I'm on IG Live too, man. I need everybody on this IG Live to go over to YouTube right now. You know what I'm saying? Chop Up Show, YouTube, the Conscious League YouTube. Go over there and holler at us, man. Go and jump in right now. We on the Chop Up Show podcast. And, you know, we always engage with the comment section. Let us know what's up. Education is elevation. You know, research over me search. Got Toya G in the place to be in the
political. Gotta live in higher definition. Don't forget about that.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget about the HD.
Okay,
hey,
it's 4K.
I know Toya got some stuff bubbling up for us coming soon.
A little bit.
You feel me?
A little bit.
You know?
Niggas, we've been working. We've been working, but it's a lot of stuff in the pot. Just even as a collective, y'all got to stay tuned for what the Chop Up got cooking because it's a lot of things happening in all three directions. So y'all just got to make sure y'all stay plugged in. I want to make sure we don't miss too many of these what's ups though. Christopher, what's good? It's been a minute. Glad to have you back.
Marcellus and Norman. Woo, in the nasty note out there in the nasty NOK.
In Nompton, in the city.
Andrew pulled up with some smoke for you, Lee. He said, "What's good?" They said, "What's good?" I'll challenge the consciously to a jig contest. If you down, King, I live in Albuquerque, so you got to invite to New Mexico to go show our.
Y'all be jigging in New Mexico?
Yeah, I know.
Y'all be jigging in New Mexico.
Vance in the building pulled up. What's up?
Leia
in the building.
Katie, she out there in Katy, Texas, first time
and everybody in the H-Town Metro, man.
Jalisa, what's up?
What do you say? What Drake say? Dallas, Texas, Katy, Texas. You know, different environment. What?
Drake said.
Because you got his eyes. I know.
Jalisa in the building. George Jones in the building. What's happening?
Jay Mentor, Grand Rapids. We got Michigan. It's Midwest in the building. Stand up. We lit.
We love it. Jay Mentor, what's good? You know we going live every Monday night. You already know what's going on. We just getting some more people in here. Lee is on TikTok right now, talking to whoever he talking to. We out here talking to y'all. Do us a favor and like, subscribe, share. Go ahead and get the suspense bubbled up for everybody because we got a good show for y'all. We sliding. You know, it's always Black History Month. We sliding in and out into a new month, so we about to talk about what March means in relationship to April and all of that. I mean, in relationship to February. So we'll get into that. You know, we got some political chop. We ain't really talk politics in a minute, so we got some business we need to straighten out.
We gotta get it in.
And then because Black Girls Rock, we're gonna go ahead and you know what I'm saying, like just really do all of that. So listen, I need y'all to share it. Do y'all's part. We're gonna do our part. We're gonna have a good show tonight. It's gonna start in just a couple of seconds. I think Lee's coming back in with us. Kyra, what's up? Baton Rouge.
Yeah, we got
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, Baton Rouge. Hey, Funky Town in the building.
You know,
it's lit. It's lit. We getting up in here. We getting up in here.
Black Girls Rock.
Yeah.
You Hurricane?
Yeah. We getting up in here. Vance out of Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, Midwest in here deep. We lit.
What's happening?
Yeah, we lit.
Love it.
But as y'all come on in, we could just go ahead and get it started.
Let's do it.
Y'all know that we always have to start the show the same way. Let's get the intro cracking. Let's go.
Me and my guys, we really live. Lord forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there pronto.
And y'all know what it is. This is the Chop Up Show. I am the political plug, Damo, and it's another wonderful Monday for us to get in, shoot the shit, chop it up with y'all. I am here with the lovely.
Your girl Toya G, chilling, good. Happy to be here. Happy to chill with y'all. It's the first day of the month. It is a new month. It is a new 31 days to make something shake. And so that's all I'm trying to do is focus on the next 31. Hope y'all feeling good. Welcome to the Chop Up Show.
Yep.
Hey, and I am the lovely George Lee, aka Conscious Lee. Don't forget to leave GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. You know, I'm feeling lovely today too as well. You feel me?
Listen, y'all know how I know he's feeling lovely. He just spent at least like 3 to 5 minutes of the pre-round, or I said pre-round. Oh shit. Pre-show prep.
You went to debate.
That was that debate background, pre-round prep. The pre-show prep, looking in the camera like it was a mirror. So shout out to George's reflection today. You know what I'm saying? His melanin is popping.
Hey, I got head. It's been a long time since I had a lineup, man. Shout out to
Yeah. So y'all know how we do. We always get the show started off with the same way. We're gonna get into the snap chop. Toya, set up the snap chop for us.
All right, check me out. So I got to thinking about this snap chop really just based on a series of conversations I've had with my students, and also just thinking, you know, just having some Toya thoughts. I'm gonna share them with y'all, ask y'all some questions. So when it comes to us being sponges as people, right? We are people who hold a lot of knowledge. We are people who share a lot of knowledge. We are people who desire knowledge, right? Half the reason people listen to the Chop Up is that they just kind of interested in what they think we know. Right. And we like talking about what we know. And we also looking at the comments like, well, what do y'all know? Tell us something. Y'all done got us together many a times. Right. So this whole notion of knowledge, I fell down my rabbit hole. And that being said, I got some questions for y'all. I got some questions for the chat. So my first question to y'all is think back to your childhoods for me. Think back to your childhoods. What is something that you used to just be passionate about knowing about or learning about? What was something that when you got a hold of it, and it could be a subject in school or it could be just anything, right? Just a hobby, whatever, that just as a kid, you was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Who did you used to be when you was a kid? What's something?
Hey, this is fucked up, right? Because like this actually, because this is associated with a lot of trauma for me. This is associated with a lot of trauma for me. I used to really be into science. I used to really be into like science and engineering. It was like before, like this is like middle school. I used to love to take shit apart. I used to like my mom had bought me a microscope one Christmas, and I stayed like I literally, it came with like a little scalpel, and it was a little bullshit scalpel because I was trying to cut myself to look at blood cells. Of course my microscope wasn't that fucking You know what I'm saying? Like when that fucking sophisticated. But like I wanted to, I love looking at stuff under my microscope. I love taking things apart. I love reading about how things work. What fucked up though is I grew up and realized I sucked at math.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I never had the type of math teachers or science teachers that made science as interesting as it was when I was just like exploring and discovering things on my own. So I never really excelled in science classes because it was just like I ain't really feeling this. And so I just kind of lost that passion. But like I wanted to be an inventor. When I was a kid, I wanted to create things. I wanted to be an inventor. Debating and talking and speaking and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Wasn't even a thought. You feel me? I wanted to science. The first goal that I had in life, don't laugh at me, y'all. I wanted to cure AIDS. The first time that I said I wanted to do something.
Why we laugh at that?
Well, because it was like
Why we laugh at that?
The first he started off the conversation, this fucked up. I'm like, I thought I was having a nice, lighthearted, fun conversation. Now we gonna laugh. I don't know. He's going through it. What's up?
But no, I mean that's what it was though. Like I ain't gonna lie, like that's what it was. Like I loved science, I loved engineering, and I wanted to. The first goal that I can remember having was I wanted to win the Nobel Peace Prize for curing AIDS.
Yeah.
But I mean, you say it, yeah, that's like, damn, that's a great dream to have. Ask me where I'm at with that. Ask me where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I won't, because I don't like asking questions that I already know the answer to. But that's lit. That's lit.
Yeah.
Hey, I feel like for me, you know what I'm saying, and I feel like y'all gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying, it won't be a surprise when I say it. But I feel like when I was from like the second grade to like the 5th to 6th grade, actually like probably like from the kindergarten to like the 5th to 6th grade, I thought I was the coldest dancer. It's like whatever dance was hot, chicken noodle soup, Harlem Shake, heel toe, lean with it, rock with it, pool palace. Yeah. I felt like I was the coldest at that shit. You feel me? Oh yeah, it was like what? Yeah, hey, and then where I'm from, you feel me? The Juneteenth parade is like the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was like literally in Bryan, Texas. Growing up, it was the biggest day in the hood all year. So it was like around like spring break time. You feel me? That's when you see all the like the little hood dance, all like the little around town, all the different hoods having probably like 2 or 3 different like little dance teams. Yeah. And they you feel me doing their little shit or whatever. And I remember I used to be like, man, I'm gonna be one of the I'm trying to be one of the only straight dudes to know how to dance, to really be this, that, and the other. I remember like, I feel like not necessarily thinking it that way, but really being like, I don't care. I like dancing. I want to dance.
Like George came a long way. George,
right? Hey, but shit.
I knew Eric Kang said you was a Hammer before MC. You was MC Hammer before MC Hammer was MC Hammer. I think this. But
I was trying to get my dance. Hey, what? Hey, I'm talking about what?
George was actually still that nigga. Don't get it twisted. George was a Dougie. He was a Dougie ass, a rack daddy ass, a stanky leg ass nigga.
Boy. I got the OU, all the dances that we do in Texas. I had them hoes mastered.
Yeah, hey, straight up, like for real, like that. The whole Dallas swag dancing. George was that nigga. He did it. I give it to him, and he was in the pageant. Go ahead, Toya. It's your turn. We ain't gonna talk about George being in the man pageant. We ain't gonna talk about George being in the man pageant. Go ahead, Toya.
I feel like when I was a kid, it was 2 things I was real passionate about. Well, and this is the question kind of pivoted because but it doesn't really matter. The 2 jobs I wanted to be, the 2 things I really cared about the most was being a lawyer, and then I found out how long you had to I actually wanted to be a judge, and then I found out you had to be a lawyer first, and I was like, wow, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to tell you whether you were right or wrong. That was the first thing, right? Like I was
funny to me. Like Toya was like, wait, I got to do what first?
Yeah, like
I can't just go straight to the bench. Oh nah, fuck the bullshit.
I was really upset about it when I found that out. That was something else. So gave up on that, slid around, and the second thing I really wanted to be was a forensic scientist. I really wanted to be like a blood spatter analyst, right? So, and this was like before
Forensic Files. Looking at
seriously,
it.
no, I used to fall asleep with it every that's what I used to go to bed to. So we watching cold case files and forensic files and this and that and whatever else they putting on True TV and whatever the channels was. And
it was Court TV back in the day.
I think it was, and then they changed it to True TV. I was into that thing, those types of things, and wanted to go solve crimes and stuff like that. And honestly, just like you, Damo, I actually had a really terrible and traumatizing chemistry experience in the 10th grade. And this lady turned me off so bad from taking chemistry, she failed me. And then I had to go to summer school over 2 summers because Kansas City, Missouri School District held chemistry in 2 sessions and held session 1 and then held session 1 over again instead of holding the second session. So I had to wait for a whole nother summer to wait to go to summer school to get the credit back for this class. Keep in mind, this lady failed 70, 74, 75% of the people in the class, to where she got put on probation after that. She got put on punishment for failing people. That's how many people she failed. But she literally.
That was our school district, man. And Toya went to the good school.
I went to, and that was part of it. And I'm gonna be honest, because we're gonna talk about Black women later and how amazing they were. But it was very ironic to me that this was a Black woman. Our school was unique in that it was a college prep school. It was one of the best schools in the state of Missouri, highly ranked, still is, whatever. And we had 2.
To be clear, I went to the worst school.
For contrast, I only went to the worst school in the Kansas City, Missouri School District. It is what it is. We found a way to bring it together. Debate brought us together.
Somehow we found one another.
And too, I ain't want to admit it, but I guess too, I used to want to be like a business person, and then Algebra 2 happened, and it was like fake numbers.
Yeah, like what is this?
The hell is that, man?
Next to numbers, but we're not spelling, we're not writing, but we're not counting. What are we?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Make it make sense. Stoichiometry is what
a big businessman. In high school, I was a promoter and advertiser in parties, so I used to feel like I'm going to school for business. And you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. And then Algebra 2 is like, haha, nigga, you don't know, man, what you thought you did.
All this to say.
Finish that. I want you to finish that. Yeah.
There were 2 Black women who were the co-directors of the science department at our school. And it was like 6 science teachers or whatever, but they ran it. And I had the evil one. It was terrible. She went on to ruin many more lives. I think now she teaches at KCC. She's just going on to bother many more people and make them suffer.
Yeah, man. Hey, don't say her name, because then she might mess around and hit it with a little, you know what I'm saying, a little lawsuit or so. Goddamn.
She can see me in a parking lot in Kansas City when I visit home, though. All of that to say, here's the next question. Here's the second question I have for y'all. And this is running long, so I want to be able to slide out now. So we go from being young minds and really soaking up a lot of information, and somewhere along the line, we find a different activity or we gravitate to something else or whatever happens in life. And we end up on a path and we become the people we are. But at this stage, we still want to be those sponges that we started out being earlier in life and learn things. So at this stage in your life, here's my question for y'all into the chat. If money and time were not, what is something that you would want to learn or that you would want to be able to teach yourself or really get into now that you are an adult, your interests have refined, you've learned about more things out in the world? What is something that you kind of nerd out now about as an adult that you would want to learn more about and get into if you could, if time and money were not an issue?
Don't judge me again. Mm-hmm. I would be a professional video game streamer. I would stream video games. I would either stream video games, like, professionally, or I would compete in video game tournaments, fighting game tournaments specifically. Because to be good at fighting games, you have to dedicate your time. I was never a nigga who had the time to sit and get good at fighting games, so I didn't get good at them. You feel me? Mm. But if I could, I would do that. You know what I'm saying? Or I would just go the route of being the type of gamer that I am, story, like single player, very heavily story driven video games. Sure. I would stream those and on YouTube and just do commentary as I stream video games.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying. Like, are you just showing the people? And Christopher is hilarious. He said dinosaurs before for the first one, and then he's like, I'm still in those dinosaurs. And we're gonna get to the comments in a second because I love the things that y'all are putting in there. But
I'll take technology or computer science. That's why somebody said New Era King. Hey, for me,
But
I feel like I'm trying to figure this out, but I'm trying to figure out how to be able to be consciously full time as this full time, just making videos, full time, just making analysis and what's on my mind, and just asking philosophical questions and giving. That's it,
George. We're doing that though. We going in that direction.
But I'm asking for something else. I want a different
something else.
Like take away like the social justice mission. I mean, not to kind of
but it's like what make
like you take away the responsibility and all that other shit. Like
the other layers of you, you just
look. George would be a professional 2K player. George would play 2K professionally.
I probably could play some 2K. I probably would be a 2K. I probably would be like the person that could like, man, I'm just gonna try to take this 2K esports stuff to the next level.
Yeah. Y'all both want to just be some video gaming ass. That's really y'all's bonding time right there. That's what really is like.
I probably would.
That's when me and George became brothers. Like 2K, like debate did make us family. 2K made us brothers though.
Adorable.
Because now like we at the point like it's like I can't. George done whoop my ass in 2K so many times. You feel me? Like it's just like I can't get mad at George about shit. Like it's been moments that I wanted to kill this nigga. Like if he beat me, I'm gonna burn
him. Hey, Jaleesa just threw a caveat too.
Yeah,
you already know how to play games. That's not learning something new. So if it was learning something new.
Y'all still not. You still not.
Still not on answering the question.
So I'm gonna answer. And y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a chance to.
Yeah, we're back though. We're back though. Yeah, we're back though. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give y'all a chance to think about it. I think the thing that I have honestly, and here's the interesting thing about like me and my body, right? We've gone on the journey throughout life together. Dominique has probably known me the longest out of both of y'all, and so he's seen the various
15.
Yeah,
15
I was 15
years old. 15 years old.
And so, like, he's seen every evolution of me in terms of outside of like my like young childhood. And all that being said, I think one of the most literally like the thing that I thought that is the most interesting to me is the body. And I don't think I want to be like a doctor or a surgeon, but like personal training or just like a nutritionist or whatever. And I'm not perfect and I don't, but just it's intriguing to me. Like people work out, watching their bodies move, like all of that. If I could get and just spend time like getting into understanding the body and how it changes, how it shifts, how muscle grows, how people, of course, lose weight, right? How they sustain, like just all those things over time, how people's body adapts and changes. Like I would really sit, and I think even outside of personal training, I just kind of like working out and moving my body, but just more about the body. Like I would just do some like anatomy type shit. I really love that. I had the opportunity at my high school, and I don't think a lot of other schools did, but because we were Lincoln, I think we got to do some extra stuff. But to like, and I know this is controversial, say that, get it out the way for my PETA supporters out there. But we got to dissect like a big ass field rabbit, and like it was big. Like it was
look, Central couldn't afford it. Big. Central couldn't afford it. We don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was just like. But we did frogs and those big ass rabbits, and just got to look inside and see how life functions. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was some cool shit to me. That if I could, I would just spend time learning about the body because I think it's just super interesting. Even though I don't want to be like a practitioner or like a doctor or anything like that. But now y'all had time to think. We got to move on. What is y'all choices?
Okay,
y'all go first.
I would learn how to sing. I would learn how to sing. I would if like I said, if money and time wasn't an issue, I would take singing lessons. I would take professional singing lessons. And the reason why I know that it's true is because Drake did it. That nigga can't sing. He learned how to sing for his voice. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And so now we look at that nigga to know how to sing. So if it was something that I feel like I've always had I got the voice for it. I just don't have the ability. You know what I'm saying? And so I would learn how to sing. And again, this is outside of like what we want to do for the world. And a part of the reason why this is outside of what we want to do for the world is because the rest of the fucking conversation we about to have, you know what I'm saying, every time we talk about the chop up is what we want to do for the world. Like we do, like what we want to do for the world, we're doing. Like these conversations and all of this. So this is like you remove, you know what I mean, like the social responsibility and all the rest of that shit, and just like personal enrichment. The one skill that I wish that I had the ability to just sit and learn how to do, sing.
Okay. Y'all some entertaining ass niggas. This nigga wanted to dance his heart out. and do it for Lil Saint and shit.
He said, "Do it."
This nigga, of course,
Go ahead,
George.
George.
That makes
Hold on. So dance, right? I guess if we going by the question, George would learn how to dance.
I
Like,
mean,
he'd be a late twin.
I feel like it'll be. I feel like it'll be either be like. I feel like it's kind of. I'm kind of torn between these three things. I say them quickly. You know, computer programming, being like a professional dancer, and then like kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah, eclectic ass nigga. You can why you across the
You saw like Wiz Khalifa trying to kickbox and
Kickboxing. I feel like kickboxing is something that I want to get into. You feel me? If I had the time and the money when the issue, I definitely would be in the gym, like learning how to like do kickboxing and like doing kickboxing tournaments and shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting beat up a little bit, doing a little beating up.
So before I had got injured real quick, I was doing Krav Maga. So like you can do it though, George. Like you can get into it. You feel me? So you know that's that though.
We got to run the hopes and dreams of these comments real quick. Let's tap in. Folks said plastic surgeon, right? Learn different languages. New Eric King said plastic surgeon. Andrew said learn different languages. I love that. I probably would too. That'd definitely be a good choice. Quantum physics from Irk Merk. Jaleesa said plant medicine. Let's see, biotech.
Mary said investor. I think was that psychologist, investor, medical, political, ethics, everything for real. She said she's trying to do it all. Fuck it.
Probably psychologist. But
okay, psychologist. Yeah. And then a board said Bean said voice acting for cartoons or animating cartoons. So,
I mean, listen, a lot of voices, you know what I'm saying, are recognizable. And I love one of my favorite things is being like, I know that ain't. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. So I love being able to connect with some of those voice artists. Thorough Beauty said, because I believe we can truly do whatever we want despite money and time, language learning, or becoming an author. I will probably do those things, but polyglots are so incredible. That's a term I've seen before, but I know poly means many. Is glots? Is that many interests, many talented? What is a polyglot at Thorough Beauty? Break that down for us real quick before we go. Jamar said, I'm going to college next fall and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I want to go into law and make change. I love that. And I saw you the first gen college student too. So shout out to you for breaking barriers and doing things. I'm a first generation college student myself. You know,
gang,
and it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not something to be underestimated or undervalued
at all. So never, get tired of telling people and letting people know you here charting new territory.
So if you want some encouragement, nigga, just pull up at the chop up.
Period. Let's see. Bahia said culinary arts.
Irk Merk said multi languages is a polyglot. So somebody who knows languages, yeah.
Dope. Gotcha.
That's a new term.
Bahia said history and culinary arts. Let me see. What's some more beautiful ones? Dance, choreography, or martial arts. Track star, multi-languages. Okay, got you.
Star.
I knew I heard that phrase before. Thank y'all for getting me right. Well, all of this to say, nobody said you got to stop learning stuff. Nobody said you got to stop making plans. I got 2 surprise plans that people don't know about. And when I get tired of doing what I'm doing, if the shit don't pan out, I'm gonna be like, oh. And I'm just go over here. People gonna be like, no, and I'm be like, yeah. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing now. Like
it's stripping. I'm gonna just ruin the surprise. It's stripping. So you go.
Dominique. I tell you shit. 15 years old. I'm 31 now. There's 16 years in broken trust just right there on the chop up. Y'all just saw it. You just saw him blow it up. This nigga blow up all the trust I ever built him.
Listen, we've added the audience to our trust circle. Our viewers are now a part of our trust circle.
Brittany Howard is laughing at y'all.
Now that everybody know my business, do what you want to do. Live your dreams, y'all. Live your life in higher definition.
So live your life.
Hey,
that's the snapshot. Thanks a lot.
That's the Snapchat.
Hey, that's the beauty stand out there for you, Toya.
I'm sorry.
Hey, shout out to Ethereal Beauty. Everybody that's here, we appreciate y'all. Make sure that before we move into this next shop, before we start showing our appreciation for our the black women that have changed the world and changed us as people. Make sure if you're watching from the Chop Up Show, make sure y'all subscribe to the Consciously on YouTube. If you're watching from the Consciously on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the Chop Up Show. If you are on Facebook from the Chop Up Show, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to the Chop Up Show on YouTube and the Consciously on YouTube. Period. It's that easy.
If you're on Twitter, go follow Chop Up Show Pod. Chop Up Show Pod. Chop Up Show Pod. Chop Up Show Pod. Go follow it on Twitter right now.
But we are about to now get into the culture chop. Let's go ahead and get into the culture chop. George, culture chop for today. Let's go.
Man, the culture chop today. So today is March 1st, which marks the first day of Women's History Month. And I ain't gonna cap, I have just been putting on, about Women's History Month. I feel like a few months ago, like I just learned about it. I feel like I knew about International Women's Day. I knew about Women's Week, Women's Appreciation Week, but I had no idea about Women's History Month. You know what I'm saying? So, I did a little digging, research over me search, and I found out that it all began in 1908. You feel me? And this is when in New York City, a whole bunch of women, thousands of women to be exact. This, according to, what am I reading this from? I'm reading this from OprahMag.com. Shout out to the research team at OprahMag.com. According to them, it was in New York City, thousands of women united and marched for better labor laws, conditions, and the right to vote. A year later, the Socialist Party, members of the Socialist Party, suffrage and socialists gathered again in Manhattan, and for this day, it was the first International Women's Day. So it started in 1908. And by 1910, it caused storm and made its way to Europe, and it became International Women's Day, and it became a whole little shebang bang, right? It wasn't until 1975. You feel me? It says, however, due to its connection to socialism and the Soviet Union, Time reports the holiday wasn't largely recognized or celebrated in the U.S. until 1975. Because, the Red Scare and McCarthyism and everybody being lost in the sauce of capitalism pretty much made it where we're going to use socialism as a way to say we ain't gonna appreciate no women today, this week, this month. Fuck all that, you socialists. Hey, you see how you get to use capitalism and weaponize it against different peoples? That's kind of...
that's a whole nother chop, George.
That's a whole nother chop for a whole other day. But fast forward, you feel me? It wasn't until, according to National Women's History Alliance, it wasn't until 1978 until it became the History Month. Pretty much. That's when. Oh, actually, that's a lie. That's when the day grew to the week, and it grew to the month in 1979. That's when it grew to the week became the Women's History Month. 1979, and what we know about, I feel like a whole bunch of different womenist movements is usually led by white women. You feel me? And white women usually get to, be up front, be in center, and get to kind of basically structure all the standards and the values of what it means to be a woman and what it means to have rights for women and all that there. You know what I'm saying? So in Chop Up fashion, of course, we gonna structure this show, goddamn it, about some black women. Shout out to Toya, the black woman on the show.
Right.
That's you talking to me. I'm gonna catch it. And just kind of, I guess, shed some light on Women's History Month from my perspective. It has been very interesting to see more people learn about and grasp about the fact that the month of March is specifically dedicated to looking at exploring and interrogating women and their issues. I think over time, I've seen institutionally, especially working at a university, a lot of interesting approaches to navigating and exploring these conversations. And more broadly, institutionally and politically, there be an attempt to integrate real conversations about what it means to be a woman and expanding those conversations into the areas of gender, right? Being more gender inclusive in terms of trans folks. Of course, centering race and conversations about how we understand feminism or feminisms, where we see the offshoots of womanism, white, black feminism, all of those different orientations toward what it means means to be a woman from a Black woman's perspective, as well as Chicana feminism, as well as all different type of indigenous feminisms and orientations toward gender. We also have disability studies that have really become central in terms of gender and exploring those interrogations and those intersections. Intersectionality is always going to be an important term. And the notion of the National Women's Day and Women's Movement has started to gravitate toward underdeveloped countries as well, right? Because we also see the feminized components of those countries, but more importantly, we see the way that women are just kind of ignored and their needs are completely overlooked because they're in those underdeveloped countries. So love this month, love everything that it represents, love the way that we are integrating Black women into it. And I guess I want to start this conversation as a Black woman, now that we've talked about that, with the perspective of Black women from one of our favorite Black men, right? One of the leaders that we talk about and cherish a lot. And it's a highly shared and controversial, but not really controversial statement. And I want to get y'all's take on it. Malcolm X said very simply, the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. And I guess my question is very simply to y'all, how do you relate or not relate to that particular quote?
Well, for me, I think I see what it means and how it's reflected, primarily because and this is something we're gonna get into later. I was raised by Black women, so like the struggles that both like the older Black women, the Black matriarchs that I grew up with, that they had to deal with, like my mother, my grandmothers, that type of issue. I seen what they dealt with, and then also watching my sisters come into motherhood, I've seen the types of things that they dealt with, and if I'm watching certain shit, I'm like, yo, niggas ain't shit. You feel me? Because you see it's certain things that you see, and I think that's what's helped me as a young man be more well-rounded, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. But it's coming to understand the importance of Black women specifically, and Black families, and I know that there's always this conversation around Black women taking the leadership role. But if we look at it outside of the way that these things have been stereotyped, that's been wonderful. And like I said, we're gonna talk about that a little bit more. But it's the ability for Black women to be leaders that's been one of the most underestimated traits that's been associated with them as it pertains to Black people, because we associate the leadership of Black women with the failure of Black men, or I mean, you could say the failure, or you could say
the Black community writ large. Shout out to Horton Spillers. Right,
or let's say the Black community writ large, right? We don't look at the fact that that Black women have right. You already know. We don't look at the fact that that Black women putting Black communities on their back and sustaining Black communities as something that should be celebrated. We look at that from a patriarchal standpoint and be like, well, they shouldn't be doing that. It should be the fuck. Yeah, they doing it though. You feel me? For sure. And so when we talk about the Black woman being the most disrespected, it's that their leadership capabilities, their ability to run a fucking ship.
I mean, like again, if y'all haven't seen Judas and the Black Messiah, you did a spoiler last show and told y'all how it ended, but kind of talked about it a little bit. By the way, if you didn't know how it ended, you just need to
stop calling that shit spoilers, Toya. If you don't know your fucking history,
but one of the things that was
a personal problem, not a spoiler problem.
One of the things that was most inspiring, but also most frustrating in both watching the movie, but reflecting on the true history of it, is that Black women had such importance and influence and endeared respect in that organization, but the disrespect was also just as significant and as palpable and as real, right? And so it makes it difficult in talking about the Black Panthers. We get on and we talk about all of our favorite Black leaders, and we talk about all of how we, come and revolutionized and pushed and struggled and did all those things. And a lot of it is centered on men, and not just men for the sake of it being men, but men who did kind of really violent, messed up, fucked up things to women. And a lot of if not directly problematic, we're just underestimating who they were and what they could do, right? Their revolutionary capacity and really riding for them in the same and equal and tangible way. So I definitely agree with Damo in terms of the leadership capabilities of them, and that movie and watching that movie, but also Googling and doing more research about the Panthers and knowing what I know and being and seeing and hearing as many debates as I've heard about the Panthers and whether or not their model was a good one for Black liberation, but how we ought to be critical about the ways that Black women were treated within that movement. I've always kind of held some of that intention because of the underestimation of who they were, whether it be on a respect level or on a possibility level, as Black women. What about you, Lee?
Man, for me, I think that Malcolm X quote speaks to the insidious nature of how Black women are disrespected, like politically, socially, and economically. And in my mind, it's just like the world is structured to me just in opposition against Black women. You feel me? And I think that most of us are conditioned to buy into the way that the world is structured against Black women. And I feel like in the Black community, most of us are uniquely raised by Black women. Mm-hmm. But I also think there's a lot of ways in which we kind of shit on Black women uniquely in different ways. Not saying it's worse, but I think that uniquely, you feel me? Thinking about the Moynihan Report and how like the idea of the Black matriarch is in the Black community, but also thinking about how caricatures of Black women are also used to build, a lot of Black empires and Black, figures, So to me, it just show like the insidious nature of it. You feel me? Yeah. It's like almost I think of the debate argument I heard, like it's like, does the world love Black women or does the world just love what Black women can do for the world? I think that's kind of one of those things that Malcolm X was getting at. And you muted.
Yeah, I'm talking to Instagram. I'm telling everybody on Instagram to come on over here to the I'm on the Chop Up Show Instagram. So if y'all ain't following the Chop Up Show on Instagram, I'm telling everybody on Instagram, go head over to the Chop Up Show on YouTube or the Consciously on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all follow. We live right now. Go ahead, finish up, George.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, now, Ethereal Beauty had actually said something. I think Lee was wrapped up, but Ethereal Beauty said, overall, I think it's very simple. To live as a Black woman is to live at the intersections of sexism, racism, and classism. And what you have to understand is that intersection puts you at a very different and kind of precarious position, right? In terms of making money and advocating for yourself, not only can you not be the woman in here being the bitch and trying to be too dominating and too domineering, but you also can't be the razzle dazzle snappy Black woman in the office doing all this and all that. So you got to figure out how to defend for yourself and how to speak up for yourself. Small shit like at my job, making sure they capitalize the T in my name, or things that I don't want to speak up about because as a woman, I don't want to bother the men that are in positions and have power over me. But also as a Black woman, I don't want to problematize or have to deal with how I'm being perceived on that level, right? And so there is and that's just on top of me making sure I'm making as much money as my colleagues. This is in a workplace where I'm dealing with issues of class and making sure that I'm protecting my bottom line and my labor is being valued, right? So I 1000% agree with the idea that being a Black woman and recognizing that disrespect is to see it from the position of the intersection, which is exactly what Kimberly Crenshaw was getting at when she developed that theory. Boris Sabine said, I relate to the quote because when it comes to the mental health of Black women, most people pretend that we don't have mental health issues and deny us whenever we ask for help. And that is 1000% true. Push Out is a book. I've talked about it before. I think Monique Morris is the person who wrote Push Out, talks specifically about Black girls and how they're over disciplined. And we can get into various diagnoses and how that works out, but ultimately we are in agreements that mental health is good and that we should understand and have a connection to that. But it talks about how oftentimes they're over criminalized and underdiagnosed, that there are issues, their separation with, connecting with the material or the content, their anxiety is seen as being attitudinal and being whatever. But if a little white girl is doing that and she's breaking down and crying and stuff like that, then she's having emotional issues and need help and all types of issues with the access that from a very young age. And I talk about Black girls in particular because it starts early. We get attitude. I cannot tell y'all how much of my childhood life I walked around, and of course it's sexism, but it's also racism, being told to smile and that I got a resting bitch face, or that I always look mad or I always look mean. No, I look
RBF
Black. I look mad because I'm walking around like this and I'm Black. So I got to be a Black girl who's mad or got an attitude. What have you done to make me smile? Why do I need to smile for you? Right? Like these ensemble of questions that, you know, as a very
Wow,
young
beautiful.
people, have this bullshit.
Beautiful to be smiling, to be walking around. not
Yeah,
smiling.
you know, you got that, you got them beautiful skin, you got them beautiful smile. Why would you want to, you know, frown? Why would you want to do that?
Oh, then don't let you fuck around and have a nice smile. You should have been smiling. I don't know why you walking. Look at you like.
Hey, you know what?
Man.
This brings me to. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but are y'all familiar with the name Kevin Samuels?
Yes.
Okay. This dude has built a name off of demeaning black women that don't fit some patriarchal standard of what a woman should be, based on how much they're desired by what's considered a quote unquote high value man.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about the disrespect that black women endure, Kevin Samuels ain't the first one. It's another nigga named Tommy Sotomayor, right?
Yeah.
You can build a online social media presence, just by devaluing black women.
Yep.
Simply by talking shit and talking about how useless black women are, talking about how, you know, black women don't care about black men, all that other shit. You can literally build a online presence and build an online community, build a social media personality based off of telling women they not shit, telling black women specifically that they not shit. Think about that. How much
the 2 degrees and this, that, and the other. Well, what you want? You're not.
But look,
I'm gonna get you a high value man.
That's
but look,
you
the
sound
fact
like
that you
sound
can
just like
gain, the fact that you could gain a social capital by tearing down black women. That's the essence of that Malcolm X quote. That's the essence of it. You can gain political capital by shitting on black women. As Tommy Sotomayor, as Kevin Samuels, as any of, I think, don't look for these people, but it's this thing called the Manosphere. Any of the, like, though, it's an entire online community of niggas who feel that the basis of their camaraderie is calling out and talking shit about black women. That speaks to something. That speaks to something specific.
Women hate, literally.
It's sad, right? And the comments are familiar with these fools. So if I can't watch it for too long, but I have seen it and come across it. A Thorough Beauty said he's talking about that old nigga who said behind his camera and disrespect black women in the name of honesty. Yeah, that's him. Brittany threw up the clown sign. Boris Sad Bean got a problem with it. Smoke with any Kevin, apparently, because they said this dude's name is Kevin. Who cares what he thinks? So it's raggedy. He's real raggedy.
Very raggedy.
Sotomayor. What's his name? What's his first name?
Tommy Sotomayor.
Yeah.
I don't know Tommy Sotomayor, but he sounds like a prick.
It's the bowels of YouTube. We'll talk, George. Toya,
I came across.
I guess now that I done checked it on YouTube, I gotta watch out now for Tommy Sotomayor. Really, I ain't worried about no misogynist ass. To me, it's like any guy, like, you got mommy issue. Go to counseling, my brother.
You know what's sad though? Here, I'm gonna tell y'all what's wild about it. I was introduced to Tommy Sotomayor in undergrad. I have not been in undergraduate school since 2012. So what I'm trying to demonstrate is a timeline for you, and that's when I graduated. I didn't hear about him when I graduated. I heard of him at the heart of me being an undergrad. I went there in 2007. It's 2021.
He's still around.
Niggas age, and they're still talking about making money, having platforms about how black women ain't shit. Because I've seen recent videos of his as well, or the fact that they exist.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what blows my mind about it. Right. When I really lay out just how long niggas been out here hating this hard. But here's my next question, because we definitely agree to a deep extent about the X quote. Let's transition though and shift away from notions of disrespect to notions of appreciation. So think about it for a second. What do or what have black women added to your life? What do black women add to your life, or what have, if you can really think of anything, right? It can be an adjective. It can be an actual material thing. Like what do black women specifically, or what have black women added?
I feel like black women have added flavor and passion to my life. You feel me?
Flavor,
spice, like flavor in terms of. Now, I'm not saying this is just spice. I think that being able
hit you with some Lowry's, nigga.
In a whole bunch of different ways, I feel like black women have gave me the archetype of how to be able to say what I mean what I say, articulate my innermost thoughts in a way where I feel like I can bring flavor to meaning, bring flavor to dialogue, bring flavor to conversation. And I think that with that flavor, I think that Black women have been able to show me how to me, I feel like express passion, you know what I'm saying, in ways that I feel like that can be reciprocated, in ways that I feel like that are healthy in terms of showing that I have investment in certain things and showing that my heart, you feel me, is in it in particular ways.
I'm gonna do this because I love this topic. I was raised by Black women. It's a lot of them, and I've had time to sit and think about this. And I would have to say emotional maturity. That is what Black women have given me, emotional maturity. Because I mean, the Black women, like my mom, for example, like she came up in the, you know what I mean, my mom came up in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? Grandmothers came up in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. You know what I'm saying? So like these are all eras where Black people are just under constant attack, right? And Black women have to maintain families and ultimately, you know, have to not only deal with the emotions of, you know, the crack era, because that's something that like going back in my life heavily impacted my upbringing. And you know what that meant for Black families, but I think the ability to understand the range of emotions and how meaningful they are is what I got from Black women in my upbringing. I mean, my mother is a very strong Black woman, you know what I mean, like an entrepreneur. I mean, like shit, she dealt with tragedy and still raised 5 kids. You know what I mean? Like in the best way that she could. Yeah, none of my siblings would complain about my mother. We have a great mother. You feel me? And knowing the circumstances that she came through. And then on top of that, I had my grandmother who was very affectionate, who was emotional, who was open, who was sharing. You know what I mean? And then I had just other. It was just a wide range of just emotions that I came into contact with. And because these were people I love and people that I cared about, I just gained an understanding. Yeah. And so, you know, I make fun of my wife, and I'm like, you're crazy, and I grew up around crazy women, so it's easy. There's a connection. I know how to deal with y'all, but it's more so I understand how to read emotion and respond to emotion in ways that don't create further conflict by understanding what's really being displayed. Because a lot of times when we see emotional displays, we respond to the heightened emotion instead of the foundation of why the emotions have gotten to where they are. And because you know, just I just naturally became a problem solver and someone who would be emotionally invested in understanding as opposed to fighting and being combative. And that's I got that from just being raised by Black women.
For sure. For sure. Comments going up a little bit. I'm a little confused by some of them. I don't know what New King era and Is It Just Me podcast. I'm trying to figure out y'all dialogue.
So the sister It's Just Me podcast said there's a Jessica X who agrees with Kevin Samuels.
Okay.
I'm gonna catch y'all up. I've been keeping up with the chat. Is It Just Me podcast says that Jessica X be calling her out. She like, please, I ain't got time for you. New era came. My homie T Duck was like, yeah, don't even worry about them, sis. Like, they ain't even really on shit like that. And she's like, without a doubt, they not my equals. Fuck them. You feel me? So that's that conversation. But in terms of what people say that they got from Black women, Brittany said she got their resilience. Fucking right. Like, shit, Black women would, like, I'm talking about being able to kind of roll with the punches. That's the definition of it, man. So that their resilience is big. Merck said pride, strength. We're gonna finally put something on the screen. Perseverance, compassion, and love, without a doubt. Let's see. Ethereal Beauty said, you know how Black people are considered the salt of the earth, the flavor. Black women are the sugar that enhances that salt, without a doubt. Shout out to George, AOI World. That's Suave Beezy.
Shout out to Suave Beezy.
Yes, Solar Vision Debate League. We in the building. Let's see. Is It Just Me podcast said women hold our communities together. They are moral and emotional fabric in the tapestry of this community. And then she also said, let me just get it up here. Oh no, not that one.
Resilient.
Hey, Ryan, what's good, Ryan? We didn't mean to take you off like that. What's good with you, Ryan? But Is It Just Me podcast said women are resilient, vulnerable, and strong. So without a doubt.
Well, I'm gonna answer this question from my perspective. What do women add to your life? I think black women have always added peace. And I'm gonna tell you why I think that. I love black women, and I can think of it through the lens of the black women who've been in my life, specifically my mama, my grandma, and my sister, right? Because my sister's like 13 years older than me. So in a lot of ways, she had some, a hand in raising niggas too. And what I loved the most about them, and black women in general, is that they will have peace.
God damn it.
They will have peace. And if they gotta cause a little hell to get it, if they gotta call, which is just really ironic. And y'all can listen, it's a different conversation. So I'm not going down this rabbit hole, but if they gotta whip some ass to get it, they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I gotta get you together and sit you like it'll be peace. And what you're not gonna do is my house and car is disrupt. Like my mama was big, like peace at my house. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like not over here, because this is my home. This is where I come lay my burdens down. I go out in the street and you know what I'm saying? So you're not, and I grew such a penchant and such, I think a place for that in my life and in my own home. You know what I'm saying? So it's something I'm proud of, like just in terms of, finally growing up, getting your own stuff, paying your own bills. You want to set the tone for your house. And I really had that standard of like, it's going to be peace in here. The things that I do are to have my peace. The decisions that I make will always be peace-minded. If they don't bring me peace, if they don't serve me, it's not going down. You know what I'm saying? And that's like when I think of black women, that's what I think of. It just comes out a little different, but there will be peace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love that shit. Real quick, I want to slide out of the conversation, and I want y'all to think about this could be in terms of society, this can be in terms of pop culture, it can be in terms of life, whatever. What do you think? Or what is a material way that we should be supporting black women? What is a material way that if you could pick a way, if you could wish into existence a material way that black women could be supported more? What is a material thing?
Can I go first?
That you would choose for black women? Yes.
Shutting the fuck up. It's like literally shutting the fuck up. And you're saying what, George? You're saying what? But in the vein, because I'm trying to get George, like, y'all know George is social media famous. I'm trying to transition him to YouTube because I spend a little bit more time on YouTube than he does. And the one thing that I noticed is that, again, like I was saying, like people think niggas literally attempt to build social capital by talking shit about black women. You feel me? Even when black women have like legitimate criticisms of certain social dynamics, specifically when they talk about patriarchy in the black communities, black men feel like they need to jump out the window to defend black men against black women. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so I feel like what happens is, when I think the greatest example of this is when I think the Very Smart Brothers had dropped the article where they was talking about black men are the white men of the black community. Mm-hmm. Niggas felt like, nah, we gotta defend, we gotta do this, we gotta, like, nah, y'all can't, y'all be tearing down the nigga. Take the fucking criticism and check the patriarchy. Realize where the fuck you going wrong. Realize where your perception of black relationships is situated in a white understanding of how relationships function. Because before we get out of here, we got one more conversation to get into really quickly about black women. You feel me? But we definitely not gonna leave without having this conversation. But ultimately, there are certain things that black men get wrong when it comes to relationships and how they understand black women. Yeah, we have to detach ourselves from understanding relationships out of a basis of Eurocentrism and the patriarchy that comes with it. And when we think that type of patriarchy, that Eurocentrism is chivalrous, right? If it's the right thing to do, the man thing to do, that shit becomes counterproductive. Because now you situating your understanding of what a man should be doing against what women are doing. And then you frame what the women are doing wrong based on the fact that they're doing it and not a man. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Let women be able to call out what's wrong with black communities, specifically how black men handle black women, and being able to take that responsibility and saying, I'm gonna do fucking better.
Yeah.
That's not the same shit that white people do to black men. Black men want better for you primarily because nigga, you us. This is us. Constructive criticism, if anything. I mean, at worst, I would say, at worst, it's constructive criticism. At best, it's nation building. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, man. And I just keep mine simple. You feel me? Just like coins. I think that a lot of organizations are able to use black women for clout in terms of diversity. I think that a lot of companies, a lot of organizations, a lot of businesses are able to use the presence of black women, you know what I'm saying, but don't really pay them, you know what I'm saying, don't really pay black women like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to social media, when it comes to engineering, when it comes to nursing, when it comes to education, when it comes to a lot of different industries, sports, there are a lot of different ways that black women, you know what I'm saying, uniquely just disproportionately not paid, you feel me, for labor. Like this literally for you know what I'm saying. I think that it's just like, hey, instead of protecting black women, goddamn protect black women's coins and labels too. You feel me? And it's just like shit.
Bottom line, I mean, a lot of issues, you know, they say money can't buy you happiness, but a lot of issues motherfuckers experience that'll make them sad is because of some money. You know what I'm saying? And so like we got to be real honest about, you know, how kind of that moves. The way money can't buy you happiness. But it'll turn some things around for you. It'll fix and separate some problems for me and allow me to focus on the real problem so I can fix that, right? If I had a little bit more money. And so I think black women are definitely entitled to the bag. And that's what a couple people said in the comments. I'll give y'all mine. I want to go to the comments. I'll say a concluding thought, and then we'll turn it over to one of y'all to close it out for the black women segment.
Yeah, close it out.
I think the one material thing that if black women can get will really put us in a great position is better representation from men in hip hop. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is that we talk so much about how we run the culture. We run pop culture, we run the media, we run trends. A lot of that comes specifically from pop culture. I mean, from hip hop. And so if we start to see the black men who get the most respect, the most credibility, and the most prominence, the biggest platforms, the most airtime, taking a whole different approach to black women, who they are, how they treated, what they willing to tolerate, you see a wave, right? You see kind of like just literally a snowball effect, I think, through other genres and other components of our society, pop culture, and so on and so forth, that will reverberate back to our communities, back to other outlets, other institutions, and we really start to see that shift and change. But hip hop and black men have such a barometer on this world. You know what I'm saying? And don't even realize, you know, how much they shape and how they orient how we get treated. So if I could pick anything, that'd definitely be it. A couple people in the comments said inheritance, just like kind of what Lee said. If she's the mother of the earth and I'm her child, her sibling, her partner, oh, what a gift. Jaleesa said in food insecurity, that's absolutely true. So many people, black women in particular, deal with and confront with that the most, and just trying to raise healthy, strong kids is how can I solve the rest of these problems if I can't even feed them half the time, right? And this is not to say, you know, that burden isn't shared by other races and people in other backgrounds, but absolutely, right? And shoot, globally, right? Even on the continent, I think that would be a beautiful thing to see. Generational economic mobility is it just me podcast said I definitely like that'd be a game changer, especially since black women have been at the forefront of the black community and the black family for so long. To see wealth come through them as opposed to a lot of the more patriarchal hoops and hurdles we had to go through to own land and to have access to things and rights, to just have black women really be the path in the funnel, right? Or alongside and equitably with black men, because this is not to undermine the black men and the black fathers, the black families that are in our community, just to really recognize the uniqueness of black women. Physically give them riches, like actual money. Let's see. Equal compensation, stop work twice as hard for half as much. So many great comments. The whole black women just need straight up justice is what Khadijah said, right? So I agree with all of those things. The last thing I want to say is this. I want to go back to the second question because hopefully y'all continue to sit on my second question I asked, which is what do black women add to your life, or what have they added to your life? And the Theory of Beauty makes a great point, right? Theory of Beauty said a couple minutes ago, I think an even better question to ask is what black women add to our lives without talking about black women's labor. And so as you think about what black women add to your life, as you search for, if you don't really understand the value of the black woman in your life, sit and ask yourself, besides what they can do for you, What makes this person special, magical, important, necessary, essential to the function of your life and what you do? You answer that question, and you'll be able to really understand and tap into just how uniquely prolific the contributions Black women make to your life really are. So that's me and just the questions I had or whatever. I'm gonna toss it back to y'all to round out the conversation about Black women. And yeah, we could if y'all want to.
Yeah, I feel like what you kind of. I
Yeah,
think
that was.
with that, really thinking about that, honestly, thinking about for women's appreciation. I mean, for Women's History Month, you know, thinking about International Women's Day coming up soon on March 8th. That's every year. That's when it's celebrated. Like, what does it mean to appreciate women without talking about their labor? I know a lot of times there's a lot of tropes of saying that men is the only people that can be that there's not love unconditional based off our paychecks, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like 9 times out of 10 in reality is the other way. But even if you believe, you know what I'm saying, that it's the other way around, this, that, and the other, there's still for the purposes of this show and just asking if I feel like a better humanity, what do you like? How can you appreciate Black women? What do you appreciate about Black women without bringing up their labor, about what they can do specifically?
What you got to remember is at least men have a lot of times evidence for their labor. They got a pay stub, they got a paycheck, they got something to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
Women and uniquely Black women labor ain't got no evidence beside healthy people, a healthy family, a kept house. You know what I'm saying? Besides motivated and encourage people around them, besides not having besides the diminishment and the devaluation of themselves to edify and lift up other people around them. That's usually the only evidence, and that don't come with no pay stubs. That don't come with no. You can't really see the footprints of that unless you're looking close to recognize it. So recognize the difference just in that regard.
Right. The last thing I'm gonna say on it before we close it out is like what George was saying was kind of speaks to how we refer to Black women as sisters, Black women as, you know, running the community, Black women as mothers and all this other shit. That's labor. You feel me? But we talking about just like their existence, because it's a lot of complaints about, like I seen what George was talking about in terms of, you know, Black men aren't respected if they don't have X. Hell, you just had Boosie, a well-known celebrity, doing an entire media run explaining why Black women should endure the worst of Black men. You feel me?
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it's like we need to stop demanding bullshit from Black women as a way to understand their worth and value to the Black community. And so when we talk about the labor that they produce, we need to be able to show a form of appreciation outside of them holding shit down, of them being ride or dies and all of the other shit. If we asking to be respected as men without having to provide a paycheck, women should also be respected without having to endure the bullshit that come with misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's only fair.
Open and close.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm about to say shit. Let me just say this, man. Let me just say this in closing. You feel me? Because this right here, you feel me, just strike a nerve with me, man. To the grown ass men, if you consider yourself a grown ass man,
oh, man,
and you start hearing something about women progression or respecting women, and the first term that come in your head is something about simping, you need to take your overgrown ass to a good ass therapist to get your issues figured out. You feel me?
All mommy issues. You gotta get the mommy issues figured out, bro.
All you doing is exposing yourself. You feel me? It's like if I say don't look at women as sexual objects, and you say you simping, you just trying to get some pussy. This exposes that you see women as sexual objects that I can get a exchange out of. You feel me?
Teed up.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
grown ass men talking about simping. That's what my high school students do. My high school student, I expect my high school students use that type of terminology.
We talking about that nigga. We talking about
grown ass men use the terminology of simping. It's like, who raised you? You feel me?
We ain't the only one protecting Black women as simping.
Right,
okay,
man.
no, I don't know. I think the Me podcast is defending and loving Black women as simping. Shake my fucking head. I'm trying to.
Oh no, yeah, she being critical, like she being critical of that.
Critical.
And so I'm gonna tell T-Duck. Hey, nigga, we don't the phrase simping, nigga. This is not a Twitch 15-year-old stream, nigga. Like, this is grown men, bro. We got families, nigga. We've been raised by Black women. Any nigga that use the term simping as it pertains to cutting for what black women gotta endure, nigga, you can move around.
Sound like a sexual conqueror. That's that when niggas say simping, that means you show me you a sexual conqueror. That more than likely you define your manhood based off of how many women you can conquer sexually, which in my opinion is textbook simping. But we ain't gonna use that terminology. You feel me? All they do is show me that you orient towards women as sexual objects, and you believe that those sexual objects should not be given any attention unless you're trying to fuck them. And you think that any man giving any attention to women is always already in the exchange to fuck. You feel me?
This is
little boy shit. That's
this
little
is
boy. Grown ass man with a wife. You feel me? I don't do nothing to try to get nothing from no woman at all. I just think that women should be respected on principle. On principle, you feel me? I should be a respected woman, not because she's somebody's sister, not because she's somebody's mama, not because she's somebody auntie, because she's somebody. Simple shit.
Because she's somebody. An injustice anywhere.
It's an injustice.
An injustice in any capacity, my nigga.
Hey, this to be clear though, you know what I'm saying? New Era King, you know what I'm saying? What's your name? I ain't trying to even show no disrespect, but when you said something about
call him T-Duck. Call him T-Duck.
T-Duck, I seen the comment of you saying Malcolm X was simping. You feel me? This not the show to be making them criticisms on. You feel me? And to being real with you, that'll be a debate I would love to take up.
Hey, George, we'll talk about it, bro. You know, that's he over at Solar Vision Debate League where yours truly be getting it in on YouTube debate. So if y'all want to see me debate, if y'all want to see me debate, y'all just go to Solar Vision Debate League. I'll be debating over there on YouTube. But I bring you. I like George. Don't even worry about it, bro. If you want this, we can set up the smoke. That ain't even no thing. You feel me? T-Duck is the homie. He just be saying silly shit. So
yeah, that's just silly. When he said Malcolm X was simping, it was like, bro. I'm not gonna give you no, because I'm trying to reconfigure my brain to focus more on positivity and negativity.
We gonna talk. I can get you that smoke.
Times
I can get you that smoke. But in terms of the show, I think this was a good one, y'all. I think in terms of transitioning from Black History Month to Women's History Month, it's us. So we still in that Black History Month hangover. So we're going to transition into Women's History Month by showing love and appreciation of Black women. There is no room for the term simping at all when we're talking about the love and appreciation for Black women. But we want to thank y'all for. Oh, you got something you want to say, Tori?
Yeah, just real quick. This won't be the last time we have what we'll call an installment for Women's History Month. We're gonna talk about Black women some more from a whole different angle that y'all probably not even gonna expect, but we definitely are. So make sure that you do what you've been doing, which is staying plugged in and tapped in with the Chop Up Show, because we like to take some ideas and unfold them and develop them. And I got some ideas for Women's History Month and Black women in particular. So I want to make sure y'all don't miss out in the next coming weeks for another conversation or a dialogue that I'm a spearhead that we're gonna have. So y'all stay tapped in.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But this was wonderful. We like to thank everybody that was on. Again, we on 3 platforms. We are on the Chop Up Show on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe. We are on the George or Consciously. My fault. I didn't mean to put your government out there, bro. I didn't mean to put your government out there. The Consciously. We're at the Consciously on YouTube, and we are also at the Chop Up Show on Facebook. So make sure if you are following on one of those, make sure you're following on all of them, right? Because the Chop Up Show, the Political Plug, and HD Leadership and Empowerment Coaching, we got a lot coming on y'all, you know what I'm saying, coming in terms of content. Also, shout out to Perfect Prophet, man. The homie Rashid Campbell out in the Bay in Oakland. He doing his thing on TikTok. Y'all make sure y'all follow him on TikTok and on Instagram at The Perfect Prophet. That's family. And the Gene, is it the Gene Rousseau podcast? It's just the Gene Rousseau podcast, right? The Gene Rousseau podcast. My man be talking about everything from anti-blackness to MMA, bro. So if y'all really want like a wide range of conversation, y'all check my boy out, the Gene Rousseau podcast, everywhere where y'all get y'all podcast.
If we plug in shows from the homie, y'all know our Bully and DeMarcus, our Texas boys got a show called The Fly Route. So if y'all in the
Fly Route podcast, yes.
But also just really good sports talk. I'm a big sports fan, so I love listening. I got an episode waiting on me right now for the workout. But I love their sports commentary. It's a great show. Y'all make sure y'all listen to the Fly Route. It's on Spotify. Go crazy. Make sure y'all
the Fly Right podcast on Spotify.
I never thought about that. That's
you gotta. You don't need music. You just need somebody talking about something you care about. You need to be focused on your reps. You know what I'm saying? But I promise you, the Fly Route is what I work out to. And it drops every Friday morning. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned and go.
The last podcast I put y'all on is the Over 30 podcast. It's actually going through some rebranding.
Yeah.
So y'all see the new name.
Hey, Andrew, I'm about to go to your IG right now, Andrew. I'm going to your IG right now.
But Over 30 going through some new some rebranding, but y'all need to tap in with that.
So the Over 30 going through some rebranding, so y'all make sure y'all look out for that. But Andrew said on a positive note, consciously catch the smoke and jigging at Shadowin 08 on IG. All love. Because like I said, Andrew, is you the one that's jigging in Andrew? You jigging in Albuquerque?
I think so. Yeah.
You jigging in the desert, nigga?
I think so.
hey, I just shot you to follow, man. We gonna see, man.
Yeah. Hey, shout out real quick to Picky Promise Life. You slid in, said they slid in late. Salute to you as well. Definitely appreciate you popping in and making sure, better late than never. You know, it's always a good time for you to pop into the Chop Up Show.
Hey, after a booty, always gonna be dropping in, you know what I'm saying, jewels too, like the comment section. Always.
There you be. Vance, Chris.
Andrew, you a dancer, Andrew? So you gonna kick my ass? That you gonna so you telling me I'm about to take me an L? Into it now. But you pretty much let me know I'm a dancer, so I'm gonna talk myself into an L. But it's cool.
R.I.P. Charlie Murphy. R.I.P. Charlie Murphy, nigga, habitual line stepper, nigga. That's the R.I.P. Charlie Murphy. But yo, hey, this is the over. All right, I was about to say the over 30, the Chop Up Show. I got the over 30 on Wednesday, or the new shit is gonna have a new name and all that other shit. But this is the Chop Up Show. Y'all know we be here every Monday. Make sure y'all subscribe to @the Chop Up Show on Instagram, @the Chop Up Show on YouTube, @the Chop Up Show on Facebook, @the Political Plug on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
Pod on Twitter,
@the Chop Up Pod on Twitter,
Chop Up Show Pod, Chop Up Show Pod @Chop Up Show Pod @Chop Up Show Pod on Twitter.
Bam. We getting in. I'm glad y'all was able to enjoy all of this. We got some great things coming, but y'all stay tuned. Y'all know we got to close the show the same way that we end this show. Y'all know what it is. This is the Chop Up.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon'